Welcome to Issues of the Day, where we discuss key issues in the news. Today we're going to be taking 3 news items that has been making winds or trends in Nigeria. First, we have the police officer that was dismissed, who is facing murder charges over the Delta shooting. We have Tinubu elevates Bianca Ojukwu as Foreign Affairs Minister. And lastly, Dangote raises petrol prices to 1,275 per litre. A 28-year-old man, Mene Ojidi, was shot dead in broad daylight in Efuru Delta by a police officer identified as ASP Nuhu Usman after he had already been restrained. An incident occurred which was captured in a viral video that sparked national outrage. We are going to be showing the video shortly. Viewer discretion is advised.
Now my friend, I deceive me. You just stop play, bro. You just stop play. I'm okay, my friend. I don't know anything outside. 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 I go carry you from the side. Something like this. I go carry you from the officer. I'll carry you from the officer. Officer. I'll carry you from the officer, man. I'll carry you from the officer. Officer, I don't know, officer. Officer, I don't know. Papa, officer, I don't know. Jesus. Attack them! Attack them! Jesus. Attack them! Yeah, he killed us. Don't get up! Get lucky. He get luck. He get luck. If he
Following the investigation, the police confirmed that the officer has been dismissed from service and will be prosecuted for murder. Now, we have seen a lot of these issues of police officers taking the law into their own hands. And most times, it will tell you the police officer has been prosecuted, but we don't actually know what happens afterwards.
That's another sad episode. If we remember, there's a long history of this. The last rebellion or the last protest that shook Nigeria to the to its foundation was the NSAS in the year 2000, and it came from the accumulation of police brutality against civilians and people they are supposed to protect. However, what is key here is that the man in question, that's the officer in question, was not in uniform. We don't know if he was on official duty. Of course, if he was on official duty, he won't be carrying bearing arms visibly for people to see. If he wasn't on official duty, what really transpired to the point whereby he had to take the life of the young man? And if you watch the video very well, the young man was pleading for his life. And I think at some point in time he shot and then the bullet did not, and then somebody handed him, I think a fellow policeman or something, handed him handed him a bullet, another magazine or something like that for him to shoot the young man. So they dismissed the man. How about the accomplice? That's the question. The man, yes, the man who gave him the magazine. How about that? And the second aspect from that report was that the police said the man had been dismissed and then he will be prosecuted. Are they going to allow independent civil society to have a say and have follow it for monitoring for transparency's sake? Because dismissing the man and then put him in a process whereby it becomes obscure to the public is not going to be acceptable. And we should be careful because the issues that we dealt with 6 years ago based on the NSAS is now reoccurring because it's accumulating again. So that issue has to be brought to the front burner for everybody to see.
I think It is very, very sad experience for young Nigerians, because if you look at the man that was killed in the middle of the chaos, the young man who was begging for his life, and fortunately, it happened the way it happened. However, we see that police authority immediately reacted to that particular sad story by dismissing the officer, and also promising that the man will be thoroughly prosecuted. However, I think Nigerian police authority needs to move from being punitive to corrective, because the officers, I mean, they are enforcer of the law, and every time or every day they are dealing with human beings. So I think there might be other, more than just punitive measures that they always put in place. That it's only when they have committed a crime, heinous crime like this, that they just come out and say, okay, they have been dismissed, they are going to face law. What are we doing internally to manage the manners, the actions of our men? Some of them, they may even need to subject to psychological tests, because we don't even know what is going on with the man that also, I mean, the officer has shot that particular young man. So I am of opinion that Nigerian Police Authority need to really look at the internal operation of its men, so as to forestall this sad occurrence in future.
And if you notice again that just about yesterday or thereabouts, the president pronounced that state police will be a reality. And if we have this issue whereby the federal police is carrying out extrajudicial killing in broad daylight in front of a camera, what would happen? Are we not duplicating police brutality? Since we've not checked the main federal police, we've not checked them appropriately for them to be accountable for their actions, would having state police whereby would it not be a multiplication, not even duplication, multiplication of police brutality? That question has to be well thrashed out. And I don't think we, in the light of the entire security problems in Nigeria, the police have not been at the fore of protecting the internal security issues of Nigeria the way we would want them to. So going forward, I think that conversation has to be come into public space. Police brutality, and in fact, even when we start having that state police, I'm thinking that how are we going to, what's the recruitment exercise going to be like? Is it going to mirror what we have at the federal level, whereby we, the men we take into these positions are not, up to international standard, I would say, international police standard, I would say. How will we go about that? Is it, who are they going to employ to help them, recruit police? Is it the men of the Nigerian police, is it Nigerian police that will do that for the states, or are they going to seek external help?
Okay, I believe that it's normal for us to have concerns and fears about having Nigerian state police, because if you look at it, like developed countries like America, for instance, they have layers of policing system, and one of which is state policing. I believe that issues like this will be looked at, because they are not going to be set up by one single person. They have to go through democratic processes, like law that will establish them. Senate has to sit down, House of Representatives to contribute. Also, they also call for public opinion as well. So from the experience that we've seen so far, I believe that the law and the will take care of all these concerns. So, and going to also take away some stress off federal police as well. So that the issue that we just discussed about extrajudicial killing will not be happening again in Nigeria.
Just lastly, on using an example of what standard of police would we want to use. I personally would not want the American version of policing in Nigeria. I would rather look to our colonial masters, the British aspect of policing, which is much more accountable to the public, yes. And they have a better interaction and better rapport, and they have better programs. And I think we can emulate them. One of which I think is our community policing. If you look at the police in Lagos State, they seem to be faring better relatively as compared to the other 36 states, and even including the FCT. And the reason is that they've brought down policing to the neighborhood standard, whereby, officers of the Nigerian police domiciled in Lagos go to neighborhoods to interact with the people and get information, and then, So I think, personally, if we could emulate the Lagos zone and upgrade it to a national standard, I think that may work.
The development has triggered public outrage anyway, and it's calling for a stricter oversight of police officers and the use of their firearms, especially in public, out maybe off uniform or off duty. And you know, a lot of times you do not know it's a police officer, and they cannot show accountability for the actions. Just like this, he cannot show accountability for what had happened. He might not actually be at fault in the whole situation. We might not know. But because there's no accountability and he cannot prove what happened, people are calling for a reform to have body cams to be able to show what the police officers are also going through.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that call. I think it is due, even overdue. If you look at our policing philosophy in Nigeria, it's still, it is still deeply rooted in pre-colonial policing, whereby police protect the people at the top and leave the majority of us in that pool to manage maybe one policeman to 20,000 or 30,000 Nigerians. So I think we will have to start from that philosophy. Let the police be for everybody. Yes, if you are an elite in Nigeria and you want to get security or secure your environment or yourself, you need to go and engage private security and let the public police look after the public. On many occasions, if you notice, anytime a new IG comes, he reads out the riot act and say, we are taking all policemen guarding the VIPs away. And then the next minute, you saw one holding umbrella for for a VIP. So I think we've been reinforcing it, but it's more of verbal commitment than actionable commitment by the police authorities and the government.
On that, I want to quote one of the promises that the recent newly appointed IG made on National Police Day in Abuja, when he was saying that police welfare will prioritize. I think the police authority needs to also improve on their welfare package to the extent that if at all there are going to be kind of external influences that is playing out within the police as well, because we believe that also people were accusing the officer that he might be under influence, that for him, God, the boy was begging, he was not struggling with him, he was even ready to cooperate and let them know the person that's sending him, but yet the man still shot him. So that means that it might be more than what we see. So, but we believe that with kind of excellent welfare package, nobody can just play with the mind of our police. That's another.
Yeah, and finally on that issue, if I from my end, have you even looked at the image of the policeman? Does that look like a policeman to you? Have you looked at the appearance of the policeman? Would you want to encounter that kind of man, even with the civilian without gun, in a dark alley? He had a hair like a mohawk, and bloodshot eyes and all those things. That is the average look of the average policeman that you see on the road. When you see them, they say police is your friend. You don't even think about friend. And when the police tell Nigerians that the police are your friends, interact with them, but you see the appearance, you don't want to talk to them. So I think that goes beyond even welfareism. How do we recruit these people? Are we putting the dregs of the society to go and be our police to secure us? What exactly? I do know that the is it file and rank?
High ranks.
Yes, the high ranked police people, they seem to have their ass going. You see their educational qualification, you see how good. But the low ones that interact with us, the one you see on the streets, they are not. You won't even think that. Those people shouldn't even be the ones securing us in terms of their outlook. So something has to be done. We need to change our philosophy, one, and then we need to look at our recruitment exercise and how to keep them updated on civil police relationship.
Okay, on our following story, President Bola Tinubu has approved the elevation of Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu from Minister of State to Minister of Foreign Affairs, which was issued yesterday.
Well, I think it's natural. It's natural progression if you look at it technically. She was Minister of State, which technically understudying Yusuf Tugar, who had gone to vie for a bigger post in his home state. From my records, she's qualified, my opinion. I don't know if anybody differs. She has a master's degree in international relations. She studied law, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, sometime in the 80s. And of course, she's the wife of the former secession leader of of Biafra, Ojukwu. And incidentally, people forget her father too was once a governor. You know, she's embedded within the system. So she has served too. I mean, her practical experience. She was junior minister, and I think she was essay to a president, and even the Buhari administration, she was appointed as well. So, if you look at the lifespan of this administration, is coming to an end. The first term is coming to an end. It will be quite ridiculous for my own opinion, for somebody to go and bring an external person to come and complete the work of Yusuf Tuga. So I think it's putting a round peg in a round hole.
I don't have much to say than just to wish her all the best, because she has been around for a while. If you look at her portfolio, as being mentioned, she has been Minister for State, Foreign Affairs for 3 years, and also have been ambassador as well at the time. So all the activities are also being, so in terms of qualification, in terms of exposures and competence, I think Madam Bianca Ojukwu is really qualified, and wish her all the best in her new assignment.
And our following but not last story, we have the rise of petrol from 1,275 naira per litre, which actually happened yesterday with no announcement.
Yeah.
So how did we get the news if it wasn't announced? Is it that Adia, you went to a fueling station and then
Nigerians have been, or should I say, have said they were not properly informed of the rise in fuel. They just woke up one morning this morning, and it has increased to 1,400.
My opinion, I think we are getting near sophistication. Yes, you go in the morning. Oh, how much is it this time? You buy and go. That's how I see it being done abroad. Nobody announces that petrol is going up or down. You know, over there, you just go to the station and say, "Oh, you sell at this price. You sell at a cheaper price. I buy here. I go." So it's part of the regulation and process of pricing in the downstream sector. Another thing I noticed is that, okay, I read it in the news that Dangote refinery was going to add 75 naira to the depot liter of petrol. And I remember that a couple of years ago, it used to be an NPC that that informs Nigerians about this price of petrol. Has Dangote refinery replaced the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation in terms of informing Nigerians? Or is it part of what I said earlier, that we are getting better because it is a private sector thing? The government should not be involved in that kind of a business. So all NNPC does is do the regular regulation mandates, and then maybe refine a Nigerian oil and stuff. But this particular issue where Dangote is now the one reading out this information, is it something that Nigeria should be worried about?
Yes, I think, I know it's coming, because if you look at it in our yesterday daily briefs, we captured it that Qatar existed OPEC. So, and when such global shock happened, definitely, since Nigeria now are operating, the regulation is oil sector, so we are not immune to that particular shock. So I want to believe that because of what happened in the global market here, all global market yesterday, that responsible for the new hike that we just experienced from Dangote.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might. I mean, it might be the volatility of the oil industry, international oil markets. We have to be reckoned. It is big enough to be reckoned with. Let me use it that way, because at any point in time, any slight movement, increases and everything. But I think the major complaints of Nigerians is that whenever these prices go up, we seldom see them come down. We are not used to prices coming down in Nigeria.
Yeah, true, very true.
Even if Donald Trump and Netanyahu and every other person involved in this war in Strait of Hormuz wakes up one morning and say, you know what, we are fed up with all this, we are okay, let everything be going flowing. If every price of petrol or every price, inflated price around the world, that depended on this if it comes down, I don't think
Nigeria is exceptions.
Nigeria, we are not used to. I think the only thing that falls down in Nigeria is rain. So yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. This is Citizen TV. I am Nana Daneji. Have a lovely day.